Remember this video? Now, yes, I do have this piece right here, which is the Studio 24. It is a desktop audio interface, but I've been wanting something where the controls are on the top, not on the front like this here. So that was me, discussing, I was reviewing the Presonus IO Station 24C. And I was looking for a controller that had basically the ability to control everything on top. You had all your knobs on top, so you really didn't, it wasn't a frontal sort of thing, it's all your controls are on top. So it's flat on your desk and you have the ability to just sort of control everything from there. That's what I'm looking for. Well, this is a review of the top 5 desktop or tabletop audio interfaces for under $300. So I've been showing you this one. So let's start with this one here because I have this. I've had it for a pretty long time. I think this is probably, in my opinion, probably the best audio interface in this price range, for what you get. So this is the Presonus IO Station 24C. Again, awesome device. It's a 2-in-1 device. It's an audio interface and a production controller. So imagine that. So it's an audio interface and a production controller. So if I pull it up again, you'll see that it sort of looks like a fader port, right? A Presonus fader port, because it partially is, so that's where the production controller comes into place. Because if you have this, you have the ability to control Presonus's DAW Studio One, and you also have the ability to control other DAWs as well. Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, things of that nature. This device can control, like I said, multiple DAWs. Okay, with 2 studio quality X-Max Class A preamps in the Studio One fader port technology. Like I said, the fader port technology is right there. The IO Station 24C is an awesome small format audio interface, perfect for the bedroom recording studio or podcasters, or in any sort of portable situation you may be in. Maybe you're doing a recording session with a friend post-lockdown or pre-lockdown, but post-lockdown. You go over to a friend's house, you bring your audio interface, it's portable, slap it on a desk, you can start recording. The IO Station features high resolution 24-bit 192 kilohertz performance, 115 dB of dynamic range, imagine that, high quality, motorized, 100 millimeter long throw faders, just like the FaderPort Pro, motorized. And here's the cool thing, because all of these interfaces, with the exception of one, has some sort of a bundle, some sort of a software bundle that they offer. But this one here comes with Presonus Studio One Artist. Again, I use Presonus Studio One Professional. I switch over from Logic and also Pro Tools. So this is an awesome, very intuitive, easy to use digital audio workstation. And it comes with Studio Magic plugin suite. This is, again, I always talk about this audio interface. It's basically a studio in a box. So let's get to the next one. The MAudio Air 192.14 USB audio interface, that comes in at $299. Now, weirdly enough, this is MAudio's flagship audio interface for $300, right? It has 8 channels of 24-bit 192 kilohertz audio, pristine AD converters, multiple IO solutions with 4 low noise crystal preamps with plus 62 gain of dB for any condenser or dynamic mic. That's pretty cool. Along with 2 TRS and 2 high Z inputs of direct routing for your keys or your guitars. I mean, this thing is pretty dope. You can just plug it in. Again, desktop, huge sort of like knob to play around with, for your volume. I love that on an audio interface. And other cool thing about this, it has a fast 2.59 milliseconds round trip over USB-C, which is, imagine that, the latency or lack thereof, right? The MAudio Air 192.14 USB audio interface for $299 is bundled with Pro Tools first. That's like a very light version of Pro Tools because, the big boy version is a subscription base now. So you get this version here. I don't know what first is. I think it may be 8 or 16, channels or something that you can deal with. Ableton Live Lite, you get a bunch of plugins, you get the Air music technology, virtual instruments, and 2 gigs of touch loops content. So you're getting a bunch of loops is actually another studio in a box. Now here's, okay, the next audio interface, right? So full disclosure, and it's probably no need to even say that because everyone probably knows how I feel about Native Instruments. I just think that they dropped the ball when it came to Track the DJ software. I'm just a person who thinks that when you have a great technology and you just drop the ball for no apparent reason, it's a great software, then, you know, I'm not trying to like sort of support you anymore. And that's just how I feel. But you cannot take away and you cannot deny the simple fact that Native Instruments, and I say this all the time, I may have criticisms of Native Instruments, but they do make awesome hardware and software, so gotta give them that. So this device here, the Native Instruments Control Audio 6 MK2 USB audio interface, $299. Pretty dope. I mean, a lot of people use this audio interface. It's very simple, sort of a hybrid. You do have the ability to control master volume on the top, and then obviously some things on the front as well. So I'll put it in there because it is a pretty awesome like audio interface. This is the 2nd generation Audio 6. It has better resolution, multiple I/O solutions, 48V phantom power. I mean, most of the other audio interfaces have phantom power as well. I mean, I don't think you can have a audio interface in any price range under 200 or even under 300 and not have 48V phantom power. Come on, right? The 6x6 US audio interface has the connectivity, functionality, and tools for any live and recording studio environment. Again, an awesome software, multiple IOs. The software package it comes with is Native Instruments, Effects, and Ableton Live. There you have it. You know, again, this is the Native Instruments Complete Audio 6 MK2, 2nd generation, obviously, for $249. And again, like I said, it's a hybrid, sort of like controls on top and front. If you're into that, cool, but there you have it. Now, my next audio interface, this is, I always said if I had the ability to buy a mixing deck, a mixing console, big boy joint, you know, obviously, even if I had the money, the space, everything else, I don't think I would buy something like a huge SSL, you know, or use SSL 4000 or, you know, 9000. But I would buy one of those huge, large format Audient mixing consoles. And, you know, they sort of moved away from that. And now, well, not moved away, but they started making audio interfaces. And this next audio interface is the Audient ID14 USB audio interface, $299, and yes, it is an Audient audio interface. Audient took its world-class large format console and shrunk it down into this Audient ID14. And, you know, they have many other sort of audio interfaces that they sell as well, but this one is under $300, the Audient ID14. The ID14 has 2 Audient Class A mic pre's, 8-channel ADAT. The Audient ID14 does not include any suite of software. However, you know, with this separate headphone amplifier output stage, console style monitor control, and mono polarity, cut, talkback, Q mix, yada, yada, yada. This is a serious audio interface, but it does not include any software. That is the Audient ID14 audio interface, $249. And last but certainly not least is the solid state Logic SSL 2 Plus USB audio interface, $279. SSL came out with a desktop audio interface. I mean, imagine SSL making a product under $1,000. Everyone knows about SSL. You know about the SSL 9000, you know about the SSL 4000. Anytime pre-pandemic, or I should say pre-lockdown, and obviously going forward, post-lockdown, that I can take my final production that I've done in my recording studio into a larger studio to be mixed down and mastered, I want to be in front of a 4000 or a 9000. That's just how I roll. This is a rugged, solid build quality and excellent sound. The SSL2 has 4 line outputs, 2 front and back panel headphone outputs, 24-bit 192 kilohertz, AKM converters, heavy duty chassis. This thing is off the chain, I'm telling you. I did like this too. You know, I had an opportunity to play around with this. And again, you can't go wrong. The sound is ridiculously awesome. They have something called a 4K legacy mode. This 4K legacy mode, it basically, you know, imparts like the 4000 SSL board sound. So whatever you're into like, you know, a little bit of distortion, whatever. This 4K legacy mode, which imparts the legacy SSL 4000 board, this is pretty awesome. Again, you may not understand it, you know, not unless you've dealt with a 4000 or a 9000, but there is an SSL sound, and that's what this little button does. You know, this 4K legacy mode, you push that button in and all of a sudden you get this warm, again, a little bit of distortion if you know how to tweak it. And it's only $279. Now they do have another version of this, is just the SSL2, and it's for $229. And that's a pretty awesome audio interface as well. It just doesn't have that 4K legacy mode. Well, there you have it. You can't go wrong with either one of these audio interfaces for under $300. I just think that, you know, when you're ready to make a decision, I think, again, controls on top is a much better solution than controls on front. And don't get me wrong, all the other audio interfaces where you have controls on the front, they are great audio interfaces, but you know, I'm a little wee status. I like my controls on top, not unless I'm dealing with something that's rack mount that's right in front of me. Well, there you have it. Top 5 desktop or tabletop audio interfaces for under $300. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.